And once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK EU podcast and YouTube channel. Yes, we are back with the wonderful Aleks. And, she's here to advise us and share with us her deep wisdom of astrology. And there's been some eclipses happening. There's a solar eclipse happening. I mean, Aleks, does this actually make any difference to us in our work, in our health, with our family? Does it actually matter?
Well, the honest answer to that is if you don't do anything about it, it doesn't really matter. Or rather, I could say if you don't do anything about it, things will come up, but you just won't do anything about it. So this is one of those things where I always encourage people to make it matter, because you have a window of opportunity that you can dig deeper, sort out, reorganize your life, get your health back on track, sort out your time so that you have more time for your family, for your relationships. Like these are all wonderful things. And if you work with it, you get so much more out of it. And so it matters when you make it matter.
100%. I love that, because if we have this awareness about it, then we can actually progress and we can have these amazing moments and transformational leaps in our world. So with this solar eclipse, how can we make that happen?
Absolutely. Well, I want to point out who should really be paying attention, if you don't mind, Ipsissima Kate. So number one, if your health is not where you want it to be, you need to pay attention to this eclipse, because it's creating this 6-month window for you to clear out old negative habits and to start building positive health habits, right? So if your health is not where you want it to be, if you're feeling constantly compressed for time, like you have 5,000 different things going on at once, and you have a lot of mental clutter that is happening as a result of that, then you also really want to dig in and work with the energy of this eclipse too. And then also, everybody's always chasing after this fabled work-life balance, right? And so if you're also feeling like you don't have that, or rather that you have priorities that are in conflict with each other, I guess I could say, then you're going to want to pay attention to this eclipse and work with it, right? And so if you fall into any of those categories or all of the above, it's possible, right? But if you fall into any of those categories, once the solar eclipse hits on Sunday, you are opening this window of opportunity that is 5 months and 3 weeks long. So give or take 6 months. And you have the opportunity to declutter your life, to sort out your priorities, and create the space that you actually need to instill more positive behaviors in there. And so I think that this is a really amazing time. And so solar eclipses are about new beginnings. And so you can have a new beginning with your health. You can have a new beginning with your family, with work. And I posted about this earlier, but it's not a new beginning if you don't do things differently.
Yes, that's a good top tip from you, Aleks. It's like, nothing's going to change if we don't do something differently.
Right. And so self-reflection, of course, is important, but also taking in the right information, the right energy. Right. And so like I know in the UK, there's 2 classes in particular that I think are really great to kind of facilitate the journey with the solar eclipse. And so the first one is actually the galactic activation.
Love that.
Yeah, well, we all have that light body, and our physical health is very much a reflection of the state of our energy field, right? And so although it's not a healing per se, but when you receive that galactic activation and you start awakening the Adam Kadmon body, right? That galactic body, that helps to restore your energetic health. And it's not just that, it's that you also have energetic practices that you do following that so that you can maintain it, right? And so that is such an amazing and incredible tool that we have in the mystery school. And so I always encourage people to take it, because sometimes our lack of physical health is not physical, it's that we're not paying proper attention to the energy body.
Yeah, 100%. And what if somebody's actually taken the class before? Is it
Do it again?
Yes,
do it again. Yeah. It doesn't hurt to be in that energy and to receive that reinfusion, and also to get a good reminder of the practices, that are taught in that class, so that you can be on top of it and really take care of yourself in the proper way and be diligent about it. That's that Virgo energy, is to be diligent and conscientious about things. And so even if you've already done it, just go and jump in again and really sharpen up on the tools that you've been given.
I love that. Yeah, and we do have a few spots left, because normally it fills up. We can only take a certain amount of people, but we do have, a few spots left, so people could still book if they wanted to. So that's great. If you're watching this on replay and it's past, past October, look out for the next one. Look out for the next one.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a good thing to do in general. Like I said, even if your health is just suffering and you have no idea of why, sometimes you just need that activation, that upgrade in the energy field to start harmonizing.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah.
And the other class that I was looking at on your schedule there, because you guys have the Hermetic Joy class coming up, and that is such an incredible class. And truthfully, were we to have that balance in our health, in our relationships, in our work, and in our contribution to the community, the part of the natural result of that would be some degree of joy, right? Or rather, that when we have joy, we end up having those things. So I always recommend that class, because number one, it's really going to help you to prioritize. Coming back to the fact that this is a Virgo solar eclipse, Virgos love their prioritization. They want to know what they need to address first. They like to approach things in an organized manner. And so the Hermetic Joy class really helps you to understand what your priorities should be. Because what our priorities should be versus what they are don't always match. Sometimes we have things in the wrong order, right? And so in that class, you're going to go a lot deeper into what joy is and what joy looks like, because there's also a lot of misconceptions. I think that when people think of joy, they think of the fool from the tarot, who's about to walk off a ledge, right? So it's not quite like that. But then the other thing is, there are understandings and priorities that help to fulfill that joy. And when you have that, that is when everything else in your life starts settling in a more balanced and fulfilling way. And so if you have the opportunity to take that class, I mean, Sovereign Ipsissimus Dave is always an amazing teacher. He's been my teacher for many years. I love listening to him. But if you have the opportunity, it's really going to help take your understanding of what a fulfilling life is deeper, and what kind of steps that you personally can take to actually make that happen, because that's literally what this eclipse is about.
Yeah, that would be so good. And again, those classes are designed to be taken several times. So if you have already taken it, then, you know, I would highly recommend, especially with what we're talking about now. So that's that added piece. That would be a really smart move. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you could probably sit in the Hermetic Joy class 5 times and still be gleaning pieces from it every time, because there's so much in there that you're going to miss stuff every time.
I said that. I think I've done it at least 5 times. Every time that he's done it, I've been in, you know, and I'm still getting pieces. I'm like, wow, 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 you know. So yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah. And if by chance those things aren't accessible to you, you know, I always recommend a life activation. And even if you've had one, go and get a tune-up, because the life activation reinfuses all the systems, not only of your spiritual DNA, but also there are connections to the physical body itself. And so if you have access to a life activation practitioner, you know, going and receiving a life activation infusion again would be really, really good if you don't have access to those classes for whatever reason, or you know, you're listening to this afterwards.
Such a great idea. I love that. I love that. And, you know, for this 6 months, people have got ample time to do the classes and have a life activation if they needed, you know, if they needed that. So they can make the most of that, you know.
Yeah. And if you're finding that there's a lot of mental clutter, and you know, if maybe you're having a hard time prioritizing, I would also recommend either the shamanic aura clearing, or the hermetic rebalancing modality. Yeah. And that will just help to clear away a lot of that mental clutter, and so that you can start putting things in order, and like I said, clearing the space so that there's room to grow something new.
Amazing. So this solar eclipse, I mean, there's so much that we can be doing proactively to make the absolute most of this, to get that health back in check, to get that work balance in, to with that family time. We've got a real big opportunity here for this 5 months, 3 weeks, to really make a huge difference in our lives. It's incredible.
It's wonderful, you know, and the only shame is that we won't get to watch it. You know, it will mostly be viewed by the penguins. Uh, it's happening over the Antarctic, and the only country that will actually get to see it that's inhabited really is New Zealand. So New Zealand and the penguins, enjoy the spectacle.
Amazing. I'm sure we'll see clips of it on the news and such like, but it would be nice to see it in the physical, of course. But yeah, oh my goodness. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Thank you for all of that information. It's incredible. You know, and for people, if you want more information and how it relates to your chart and how it relates to you, get in touch with Aleks. She can help you. She can probably write out a good plan of action of all the different things that you can be doing. So, you know, please reach out.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Aleks, for sharing your wisdom. As always, I love this one. I'm lucky. I'm going to be doing all of those things: life activation, hermetic joy, galactic. So I'm very happy.
It's going to be amazing, and it's just going to be in great timing.
Yeah, great timing. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Until next time, we will see you all soon.